We welcome you back to Fresh Outlook, and we welcome to our show Mike Bako. He was the managing editor of the Daily National, and of course we have our political analyst Dee Dee Benkie and media analyst Jackie Guzda. Well, the Big Apple is buzzing with news that Anthony Weiner may have a chance of getting elected as mayor. Of course, this is all speculation. The election isn't until September 10th, and that's still more than 3 months away. But a new Marist College poll released this week shows the recovering sex tweeter running second to Christine Quinn, the city council speaker. And that brings us to our next story.
This morning, Anthony Weiner.
Many chuckled just from hearing his name, but Anthony Weiner may have the last laugh if he wins New York City's Democratic primary for mayor.
The very people that put everything they had into this city are getting priced right out of it.
He vows to help the middle class in his new campaign ad.
And no one will work harder to make it better.
His wife may have forgiven him for his indiscretions, but many New Yorkers can't, especially female voters. According to a Quinnipiac poll, 52% of them didn't want him entering the race. But these people feel differently.
What do you think about Anthony Weiner joining the mayoral race?
I think he's a great politician. I think he's going to do very well.
Sometimes second chances are worth it.
If he gets elected, I wouldn't mind. I think it's over, that controversy.
But why was it even a controversy rather than a personal matter? For this, we turn to political expert Mike Bako from DS Simon Productions.
I think we care about their personal lives because it's somewhat of a reflection on how we think they might govern. Sexting is what teenagers and college kids do. To have a 40-year-old married politician doing this, it just seems silly.
Is a politician's personal life really a reflection on the work they'll do in office?
Well, let's look at what people are saying about New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Everyone is saying that, hey, this guy needs to lose weight. We can't have a politician. They need to be better than us, as they're sitting on their lazy boy chair with a bag of potato chips and a beer or a full soda in the other hand. American people want it both ways. They want their politicians to be better than them, but then at the same point, when someone is better than them, more educated, say, oh, he can't relate to me.
If America forgave Bill Clinton and South Carolina voted Mark Sanford back into office, why are many New Yorkers holding a grudge?
I think it's a matter of the reputation that you've built. Weiner was a combative politician. People either loved him or hated him.
But are New Yorkers really holding a grudge? Now, according to the poll, Quinn received a 24% favorability rating. Anthony Weiner was a close second with 19%. And that brings us to the question, is it possible that Anthony Weiner could be New York's next mayor? Jackie, we'll start with you.
I'm throwing my support to him.
Okay, and why? So you are of the forgiving heart, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Look, I loved the Weiner before he was caught, okay? I think he's in favor of gays, he's in favor of women, he's in favor of the middle class, he's in favor of the poor. I love his progressive politics, and he's a fighter. New York is a tough town. They need a tough mayor. Those are the mayors that have been successful in our town. I want to see somebody like that for the next 4 years.
So why not be in favor of the woman who's for women's rights and is also a lesbian?
Yeah, because, look, I'm not going to vote for somebody because I like women, because I like lesbians, whatever. I'm going to vote for somebody because I think they can get the job done. And since I can remember, I have been voting Republican in the mayoral race in New York City.
Okay, Dee Dee, I saw you shaking your head there. You've got I know you've got something to say.
Yeah, well, with Anthony Weiner, here's the thing. You're not running to be a member of Congress. You're not voting on social issues. You're voting on getting the trash picked up, and you're voting on making sure the trains run on time. And being a mayor is very different than some of the other offices. So I got to tell you, I really don't care what he texted out or sexted out or whatever. I don't care. I want to see if he'll do a good job or not. Now, Christine Quinn, I've got issues with because I don't think she's a law and order candidate because she wants this inspector general and coming down on the NYPD before you even start. I don't like her policies. So, I don't know about Anthony Weiner and what he does in his free time, but you know, the jury's still out whether he'd do a good job as mayor.
Well, let me talk about that free time. Well, we tell our kids not to go onto the cyber world and do anything stupid, whether it's something in writing or photographs or anything. So he made a choice to send explicit photos of himself, and that was a personal choice. But when does, did he make a bad choice, and do you want somebody who makes a bad choice personally, and is that going to be in his professional world as well? What are your thoughts on that one?
I think everyone does things in their own personal life that they don't want the world to know. They don't want their coworkers to know. This is a situation where Weiner, the issue was that he was lying. He was trying to cover it up. If he would have just came out right at the very beginning, if he had some crisis management training of any sort and not denied it and not come up with these ridiculous sort of scenarios that his account was hacked and then turning back the FBI and different investigators that wanted to investigate, how is it that his account got hacked? How did these photos wind up on his Twitter feed? Those are the reasons why this became such a scandal. Was not what he did; it's that he lied about it.
Oh, no New York politicians have ever lied. I'm sure of that. He'd be the first one, right?
No politicians have ever lied.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, what I'm saying is that it doesn't make a difference, though. So you're saying that if he had come out and said, "Hey, I did this in the very beginning," then you would forgive this mistake. So you're saying that it's okay to make a personal mistake like this?
I think it's okay to make a personal mistake, and I think
he made it 6 times.
But just look at the polls. I think people are willing to forgive. They want to see him on the campaign trail. They want to see what some of his thoughts are about New York.
I mean, I think they want a good mayor, really, because Quinn, has never broken out of the pack because she's weak. The pack is weak. It just is. No one has come forth. It's been a boring race. Weiner gets in, and he has crowds. I mean, people are interested in it. And he was a member of Congress, and he did a good job.
Yeah.
And he, of course, was elected 7 times as well. But let's also think about, let's also say, in reality, we are just speculating because it is a long time away until September 10th. So let's remember that as well. But he's already earned a little bit of a reputation. The New York Times did a big article about him, that he was a very tough boss, that he was very demanding, and he had a turnover rate higher than anybody else. So let's talk about just him as a candidate. I know that, Jackie, you like him and you've forgiven him. What about that? Is that going to come back to haunt him?
I don't think so, because you've got politicians who are tough to work with. You've got people like Bloomberg. People love working with Bloomberg. I don't think it has much to do with it. I think it's the results that count.
Well, he's going to have a hard time. I mean, I think as time goes on, and this gets older and older, he'll have an easier time bringing people in, because if his polls keep going up, he's going to have people that are going to want to work with him, because he could very well be the next mayor. Right now, he's kind of feeling his way through, and he seems to be getting stronger and stronger. So right now, he's had a little bit of a difficult time keeping people, but I think that's going to change.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that Weiner is planning to serve the people of New York City, or is he trying to put back his reputation?
Well, I think he's trying to win back his reputation by serving the people of New York. What better way to win back your reputation than by getting the garbage picked up, by keeping property taxes lower, by having the cops do their jobs, by doing all the things that you want a mayor to do. I think we were talking a little bit earlier about this is a completely different type of political animal, being the mayor of New York. Your job is to make things run. Your job is to make the schools run and the fire department answer fires and the police department to keep crime down. People are happy with how New York is being run right now. They might not like Bloomberg from a social standpoint, but they like the fact that crime is down. They like the fact that they could take the trains at 1 a.m. at night and not worry about being attacked or graffiti-strewn car trains like there were in the 70s and 80s. That's what people care about.
Well, let me go back to Jackie and Dee Dee for a moment, because I'm going to talk about that trust, and it's specifically very difficult right now to win that trust from the women. So if you were on his campaign, how would you tell him to go win back the trust from women? Dee Dee?
Well, I think he's doing a good job with that, because he's saying, look, I'm sorry, I messed up, and he keeps saying it, and I think he's using the right tone. He has his wife there with him, and I do think he needs to have a lot of women campaign staffers. That would be a plus.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think his campaign chair person should be a woman.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I think people want a tough mayor. Well, and he has a tough personality. Quinn, I mean, she's talking about her bulimia. I mean, I don't want to hear that. I mean,
no,
really,
I
feel bad about that, but really, it's like, look, are you going to be tough in law and order? I mean, don't put the straps around Ray Kelly, which is exactly what she's trying to do, and be difficult with the New York Police Department. They do a great job, and she's already trying to have an inspector general. Very bad policy.
Do you think that Anthony Weiner is going to have the respect from the police and the fire departments?
Yeah,
yeah.
So than her.
Yeah, or he'll tell them off.
Okay.
Well, and he's also gone to bat for them in Washington to get those funds. You're talking about Christine Quinn, talking about someone who we haven't spoken about, Bill de Blasio, who wants to stop and frisk and to cut different types of funding of the NYPD. I think that if we're in a debate type setting and Weiner or Christine Quinn would go back at him and say, well, if you stop that, crime rates may go up. That's what people want to hear. That's what Weiner will be able to come back at him with. That's what Christine Quinn will be able to come at de Blasio or any of the other candidates that we haven't spoken about yet.
You see anybody else throwing their hat into this ring?
Adolfo Carrion, my neighbor. I love him. He's very nice to my dogs, but I love him. Do I think that he has a chance? Absolutely not. Nobody even knows he's running.
Well, and we have a crowded field, so anything can happen, but if it ends up where they don't get the percentage, and I'm not so sure someone will, you'll have the 2-person runoff.
Yeah, unless, as you're saying, that Weiner is so strong that he's going to take it, he's going to pull the lead and run with it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see,
Well,
but I think he can.
I think he can. It's very early on to get almost 20% of a favorability
and it's a pretty
rating.
big field. And also, I mean, if I was one of the others and I picked one, I'd say, hey, I'll throw my support. And sometimes that can put you over a couple points.
And we're looking at that commercial right there, and one of the things he keeps saying and repeating is, I deserve a second chance. He keeps using that phrase, second chance. And I think that's resonating with people.
Yeah.
Well, we speak about how to win over female voters, and it's not about having a female chief of staff or campaign manager. It's about having his wife out there. That's how you win. That's how you win over. If he was going out there, if there was not the New York Times Magazine profile where she's right there with him, talking about their new child, talking about their new life, those are the things that people will pick up on.
Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that one as well. Some people say that his wife has political ambitions of her own.
Well, she does.
That's
absolutely,
okay.
she does.
Yeah, that's
But-
fine. I think
but
she's
that-
an accomplished woman.
But that she's stayed with him for that reason, because they're stronger together.
Well, she does work for Hillary Clinton.
She has a good role model in that regard.
That's just been some of the critiques.
I think that what is going to make the difference in the minds of the voters of New York City is if you think that his making bad decisions will go over into making bad decisions into his work life. That's going to make the difference.
I don't think it's going to make a difference in getting the roads clear when there's
No,
snow
it's
on the
not.
ground.
You're right. Because
Yeah, I don't think it makes a difference.
You're right.
in
You and
that.
I agree. So if people agree with us on this issue, they will vote for Weiner.
And don't you think I'd rather have a jerk and get the job done than have somebody
Exactly.
really sweet who's going to fail miserably?
Sure, he
Who
is
cares?
not our problem.
Well, yeah,
We're not buddies with him.
No, he's
no doubt
Laura's
about
problem.
that.
It's
We're
not
not
ours.
buddies with him. Who cares
Yeah.
if he's going to do a good job or not?
Look at Mayor
We're not
Bloomberg.
married
Have
to
you
him.
ever seen anyone more uncomfortable at a Labor Day parade eating an ice cream cone or holding a baby? I mean, you want someone who will govern, and we've seen over the last 12 years that someone who people probably don't like on a personal level in Mayor Bloomberg has gotten the job done.
Well, stay with us. Don't go away to our panel, and don't you go away, folks. We're going to continue our discussions about the race for mayor in New York City and whether the 8 million potential voters will have a forgiving heart.